I'm a long-haul trucker. An OLD timer on the CB radio gave me 3 rules for dealing with the thing that runs alongside my truck at night. I drive a truck for a living. I'm just a guy with a commercial driver's license and a mountain of debt, hauling cheap furniture from one soulless warehouse to another. My life is a series of lonely highways, greasy diner coffee, and the constant, hypnotic drone of a diesel engine. I thought I'd seen it all, but I was wrong. This happened last night on that notoriously desolate stretch of Interstate 80 that cuts through the salt flats of the state. It's a place that feels like the surface of the moon, flat, white, and empty for 100 miles in every direction. It was 3 a.m. The road was a straight, black ribbon unwinding into a void, the only light coming from my own high beams in a brilliant, star-dusted sky. I'd been driving for 10 hours straight, pushing to make a deadline in Salt Lake City. My eyes were burning, my brain a fuzzy, caffeine-addled mess. That's when I saw the flicker of movement in the scrub desert to my right. My first thought was a coyote, but then I saw it again. It was a tall, loping shape, moving with a terrifying, unnatural grace. It was keeping pace with my rig. I was doing a steady 65 miles per hour. My blood ran cold. I took my foot off the accelerator, the truck slowing to 60. The shape in the darkness slowed with me, its long, spindly legs pumping with an effortless, fluid motion. My heart started to hammer against my ribs. I pushed the accelerator down, the engine groaning as the truck climbed back to 70. It sped up, too, staying perfectly parallel to my cab, a silent, dark greyhound in the night. It was vaguely humanoid, but too tall, too thin. Its arms were too long, its stride impossibly wide. This went on for 5 miles. My hand, slick with cold sweat, reached for the Citizens Band radio. I keyed the mic, my voice a shaky whisper. Breaker 19, anyone got a copy out on Interstate 80, eastbound? The static hissed, then a voice crackled through. It was an old, weary voice. You got a copy, driver. What's your 20? I think I'm seeing something out here, I stammered. Something running alongside me. There was a long, heavy pause. When the old-timer's voice came back, all the weariness was gone, replaced by a cold, sharp urgency. Son, you listen to me. You've got a pacer. Now, you're gonna follow a few simple rules. Rule number 1, you do not take your eyes off the road to stare at it. Rule number 2, you do not acknowledge it in any way. You give it nothing. And rule number 3, you do not stop your vehicle. Not for a flat tire, not for a flashing light, not if the engine catches on fire. You keep that truck rolling until the sun comes up. What does it want? I pleaded. Kid, it's an escort. The problem is, you don't want to go where it's taking you. You just keep driving. The radio went silent. I was alone again with the runner. I tried to focus, but my global positioning system screen was wrong. The icon representing my truck was no longer on the line of Interstate 80, it was on a thin, gray road that wasn't on the map, veering off into a vast, blank spot. Up ahead, I saw the lights of a town. I knew this stretch of road, there was nothing out here. But the lights were there, a warm, inviting glow. The pacer, still running alongside, lifted one of its long, thin arms and gestured toward an off-ramp that was materializing out of the dark. It was a silent, undeniable command. My hands were slick on the wheel. The pull to turn was a physical, magnetic urge. But I kept the wheel straight. I ignored the phantom off-ramp. The moment I passed it, the air grew cold and heavy. The pacer's fluid motion was replaced by a jerky, angry, frantic pumping of its limbs. It was a movement of rage. Up ahead, I saw flashing lights. A car was pulled over on the shoulder, its hazard lights blinking. The driver's side door was wide open. Standing perfectly still beside the car was another pacer. It was waiting. Its partner had failed to guide me off the road, so now it had a roadblock. My foot trembled on the accelerator. I kept the wheel straight, focusing on the narrow gap between the stopped car and the white line. As I drew level, I couldn't help but glance. It had no face, just a smooth, gray, featureless expanse of skin. As my high beams washed over it, that blank face turned, its head tracking my cab as I passed, a silent, damning accusation. I shot past, my mirror missing the open door by inches. In my rearview mirror, I saw the pacer still standing there, a silent, faceless sentinel. Then, it started to move, sprinting with impossible speed directly toward the back of my trailer, its long, spindly arms reaching out to grab the steel frame. I slammed my foot to the floor, the engine screaming in protest, and as the first rays of dawn finally broke over the horizon, the creature let out a soundless, vibrating shriek and dissolved into the morning light, leaving me alone on the empty, silent road.